Legacy. Now, real talk though, man. It's the Legacy mug. Microwave safe, dishwasher safe, hater safe. I do think it loves liberal tears more than any other tears. Oh, that and I think it loves MAGA tears too, because some of the MAGA people that were when he lost to Biden, all the MAGA tears, gosh. I mean, they weren't as bad as the as the liberal tears, when Hillary lost. Jesus Christ. Get over yourself, Jesus Christ. Those people were melting down literally, man. Them people couldn't take it. Yeah, man, go to timblackmug.com and pick up a mug. $20 to your door. No shipping. I pay the shipping. No matter where you are, I pay the shipping. Unless you live near Nigel, because Nigel, you live too far, brother. Nigel, what you doing in another country, man? I remember when the Tim Black Show had a talk when they had the radio. When we used to take phone calls, right? And the hardest thing about taking phone calls, y'all, is that people want to be, they call in not because they really care about the show. They just call in to hear themselves talk on the internet. There were people that wouldn't know what we talking about, who would call up and be like, "Hey, I don't know what y'all talking about, but I just called to talk." I mean, it's bad, man. You got to have a screener. Some things can't be done ghetto style. You got to have somebody to be like, at least pretend to screen calls. I used to let everybody through. People call 6 times a week. Show was only on twice a week with phone calls. Then when I took it away, they were mad. People just left. You want to be a star off my show. Look at you. Can't make me a star. I'm going to make you a star. Doesn't make sense. Blog Talk Radio went out of business. They shut down, so that whole situation's gone now. They don't even do it, which is kind of good because whenever I had a technical difficulty, I can never get anybody in customer service. They didn't even have the decency to farm it out to like India where you can't understand what people are saying, but at least it's a person. You just went to a voicemail and no one ever got back to you. I don't know what's worse. This is my 10th time calling. Well, yeah, you can count to 10. You can call 100 times. Anybody gonna call you back, bruh. Look, tonight's show, Marvin Sapp Shakedown, Crockett Meltdown. You like how I did that? Yeah, skills. And Elon exposes it all, or does he? Man, y'all people crazy, man. I'm gonna have fun on that segment. And Dems go full Jim Crow. They don't care, man. Democrats be jumping out the window. They just do not care. I am habitual line stepper. I cross the line. No one should cross. I don't care about what is an insult to the black people at all. I am the line crosser. We cross the lines. Step all over black people's feet. Just, damn, just flat, back. Look like De Niro and Goodfellas. Just, yeah, black people. Okay, so you think that's sacred, huh? Get to that. You be like that little kid on the video. Bitch. What'd you say? I love you. I love you. What you say? I heard what you said. Are you gonna leave now? I love you. Bye-bye. You just stepped all over me. Gotta work out before I do these monologues, man. But if I could only be as funny as a drunk alcoholic Irishman who sometimes calls things right, sometimes. If I could only be as good as him at what I do, then I could be obscure on the internet and barely eke out an existence. Oh, man. That's the worst thing about being black sometimes, man. When you have something you do that you think you're good at, it's always a black person to compare you to a white person. Yeah, you just the black such and such. It never goes the other way. You do know white people only like 10% of the world population, right? You do know that. White people be like, what? I had no idea. Yeah. Most disrespectful thing in the world. Black people say, you ain't nothing but the white. You ain't nothing but the black such and such. You the black Conan O'Brien. You the black. You just trying to be the black. We're going to get into something, man. We got a couple things, man. I'm going to go ahead and get the party started. We want 400 likes tonight if possible. There's no pressure. No pressure. I won't come visit you. No one's going to come after you. And we're going to get 400 likes, not because we want bragging rights, though those would be nice. I got to admit. I love shoving it in their faces. I do. You know, I'm petty like that, man. Petty Crockett, you know? Petty Rose. But yo, check this out. It's for the algorithm. We want the algorithm to know that we do have a show that's important. Lately, the numbers have been really down for me. And you know, I need to not care about that at all. But I was noticing, I was like, damn, man, you know, what happened? And then I get a message from Buck about James Allen. And I say, man, why am I worried about dumb stuff like who watches? I got James watching. What else do I need? You know, that's all that matters, man. Brother going through some stuff in his life, and he cares about me. He cares about this show enough to be like, yo, man, you know, this show gonna be my pick-me-up. So, you know, damn, brother, I want you to know, man, you really touched my brother's heart, man. I needed that. I needed to know that what I'm doing is important. You know? That's how some of us men are wired, you know, just to know that's important. And I want to thank you, James Allen. As thankful as if you are of the show, which you expressed, I want you to know I'm thankful for you, brother. Now get your ass out there, bid. Come on over here and watch the Tim Black Show. Let's go, guys. Let's do this. Jumping into it. Hit the like button. We're not taking off the gloves tonight, so if you're timid, you're going to have a hard time because I'm not pulling punches. That you know off the break. Tim Black, you didn't have to call her name.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
I put out a statement regarding that. You didn't.
Okay, so the first story is Jasmine Crockett, of course, because, well, we get a lot of views when we do her content. And because, you know, that's what we're here to do. No, that's not why. We're here to cover this because they're still talking about this. You know, man, I put out a video and I said, hey, man, who cares? She made a joke about someone, you know? Ooh, no. Like, I'm not even that petty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like when she up here like, I'm a black woman, I'm gonna save the world. And then be like, don't do nothing to help, nothing. It's all about her. And then a bunch of other people who want to try to rise off of her rising star, big that up as if that helps black people in any type of way whatsoever. It doesn't. Calling Elon Musk an ass or saying he's a hoe does not, for some reason, it just doesn't, you know, help us as a community. I don't know why. I mean, because it wasn't even meant to. But yeah, they're still talking about Jasmine Crockett in this thing. So here she is. She's saying she will not apologize for calling Abbott Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels, Hot Wheels, Hot Wheels, Hot Wheels. I said it. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I think Jasmine Crockett finally figured out that maybe we're commentators and she's a lawmaker. I think she finally got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm supposed to pass legislation. And people like Tim Black are supposed to talk ish on the internet. Oh, I get it now. I don't know what I was thinking. I know what you was thinking. You was thinking you wanted to be like Trump. Don't you all? Here she is not apologizing for the things she said she didn't say, and how dare we take her out of context? We need to all just take a civics class.
Apologize. I put out a statement. Why would I apologize when I put out a statement? My statement was clear.
But you didn't apologize for calling him Governor Hot Wheels when he gets around in a wheelchair.
I don't know how
that's offensive.
I don't understand.
People have a disability.
You need me to repeat this to you.
Right, but why won't you apologize?
I put out a statement.
They didn't have an apology.
So read my statement.
I did read it. It didn't have an apology.
Okay. Well, I'm done.
You don't feel bad about making fun of someone who is in a wheelchair, calling him Governor Hot Wheels?
Next.
Yeah, man, my only problem with this whole thing is that she did it at all without being able to stand on it. You know, man, people say a lot of rude things, man. That's something you need to learn. If you're going to be following Trump, then you got to be like Trump. Trump doesn't care. You don't, you're taking the wrong lesson. You're like, I'm not going to apologize. Trump never apologizes. Well, Trump he literally doesn't care, Johnson. So you can't imitate a person who doesn't care and care at the same time. Can't do it. You gotta either not. It's the reason why I could not be a major like drug dealer, because I care about people and I feel bad if somebody gets hurt for me selling poison. That's what separates us from the animals. Is empathy, caring, ethics, integrity. These are the things that are important. See, Trump doesn't care. And when he says something, he's trying to roast somebody, he's not going to deny he said it. When he was making those rude jokes that we'll get into later, he never denied it. He didn't make up stories like, well, I was pop locking. That wasn't me imitating the person who was disabled. I was swatting the fly, and the fly had moves like Herschel Walker in his prime. So Jasmine Crockett is done. She showed herself to be, once again, she's insulting our intelligence. She told us the Democrats really did a great job for black people. We're just too dumb to know it. As if we wouldn't know if our prices went down. If we've got, if gas was low and all food bills are, lower, and we were all of a sudden getting these jobs and gentrification slowed down, or if our checks got bigger, or if taxes left our tips or left our OT or overtime, or we wouldn't know if life got better. It's like you just don't understand. You just don't get it. You're doing great. Really? Because I'm over here eating ants. Well, you got ants. And wow, look at you with the ants. It's like a great scene out of Extracted on that show. That, wow, you doing it. You really are eating the ants. You go, boy. So that's the problem with Jasmine Crockett, is that she won't stand on it. If you ain't gonna stand on it, you should have never said it. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep going, because some unlikely people are gonna have something to say about it, and I could not believe when this happened. The View, another group of women who can't stand on anything either.
On Deck with Tim Black.
Last night, Texas Governor Greg Abbott responded to a comment.
It's called an insult, Whoopi. Whoopi Goldberg is a comedian, folks. You may not know if you were born in the last 50 years. You may not understand that Whoopi is a comedian, for which she won, I think, Grammys or Oscars. She won something, Tony or something. So she knows what comedians are. She knows what roasting is. So for her to be like lost for words to describe what was said, it's just cap. And that's what I'm talking about, cap.
Comment made about him by...
Looked like she had bad gas right there. You see how hard that was? In the brain, she's trying to come up with another thing to say except the truth. Because, truth is, who needs the truth? It's just a show where we lie every day. Right, Whoopi? We just make up stuff. And we defend our friends. And we defend it, which is always the Democratic Party.
Responded to a comment made about him by Jasmine Crockett. And we're going to show you. Take a look.
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now.
Yeah, she meant something else. She didn't mean Hot Wheels. She meant, hot meals.
And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey.
Yeah, only thing hot about him is a hot ass mess. There you go.
Is another day and another disaster by the Democrats. The reality is they have no vision, no policy. They have nothing to sell but hate, and Americans are not buying it.
Now, Congresswoman Crockett denies she was mocking Abbott's disability. She says she was referring to his use of trains, planes, and automobiles to transfer migrants around the country. She should not have made the comment at all. But Joy.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking when I saw this about, where was the outrage from Abbott when Trump was doing this?
Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Maybe that's what I said.
Well, that was about a reporter named Serge Kovaleski who suffered from a condition that restricts joint movement. And he had interviewed Trump many times in the 80s. So he was basically making fun of the guy's disability. And I didn't hear the outrage then. Not that she's right or wrong.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, because she wouldn't want to admit that she was wrong, even though you're saying that Trump was wrong. And you said it was wrong when she did it. All the corporate media came out and said he was wrong. Nobody hedged. Nobody was like, this was right to do. In fact, I don't remember Republicans being like, this is okay. I mean, he meant something else. I don't remember anybody defending Trump. And that's what I'm saying. If you want to imitate Trump, you got to be willing to go alone. Go alone. Because that's what he does. He's been going alone for 10 years. And now he's paying people back.
And the thing about her, she was looking for a way to say hot mess and hot wheels.
Yeah.
And, you should leave that stuff to the comedians.
I think she should just own it because Jasmine Crockett is a very talented politician.
Yeah.
Crockett, sorry, is a very talented.
She's a talented politician. I thought she was a gaslighter and actress doing a stereotypical rendition of a black woman from the hood, which she is not, who's growing up in a certain environment, which she did not, in order to win favor with a group of black voters who could not distinguish this from actual policy that makes their lives better. Basically the Sister Girl Act, which they try to get every black woman to do who wants to rise within the Democratic Party. It's particularly in media. They tried to get Angela Rye to do it. They wanted Tamron Hall to do it. They wanted Melissa Harris Perry to do it. They wanted Jasmine Crockett to do it, and she's doing it. The rest who didn't do it, see ya.
Communicator, politician. She's effective. People gravitate towards her. This was beneath her because Marjorie Taylor Greene, we expect that. That's the only way she can get a headline is by.
That's right. Throw her under the bus in a certain segment of news cycle she has something to do with. Yeah, that's right. Let's compare her to Marjorie Taylor Greene, who no one's ever given a pass for anything. We roast her all the time. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene eats getting roasted like Scooby snacks.
Saying crazy stuff, and then everyone looks. Representative Crockett.
Yo, come on, man. You don't think that's what Representative Crockett's doing? They're both playing the same game. So was Vobert. It's all the same game. They all say crazy stuff, and then everyone looks. That's exactly what, and I think she realized it. Look at her, guys. Don't tell me she didn't realize I just said exactly what Crockett does. It's like, I just said it out loud. Oops. That's not what they wrote down for me to say. I just said something real that's true that applies to all three of them. In Trump too. One more time for people in the cheap seats who missed it because I talk too much.
Politician. She's effective. People gravitate towards her. This was beneath her because Marjorie Taylor Greene, we expect that. That's the only way she can get a headline is by saying crazy stuff, and then everyone looks. Representative Crockett is so much better than this. So I think it would have been really relatable because the rest of that speech, if you watch it, she's really impassioned. She says, I'm going off script. What I love a politician to do is say, you know what, I said that. I shouldn't have said that, and then move on because then everyone would move on with her. Yeah. She's just too good.
The View has no Republicans. They just have neoliberals. Everybody is a neoliberal. All of them are liberals who are corporate liberals who don't give a damn about anything except staying on the View and keep on picking up the money. No, there's no Republicans sitting here. You got to have at least one. You know, we did not give Cindy McCain her credit, which was at least it could be like substantive debates. At least there could be some back and forth like issues. This is just, Cindy was Teflon. She took a lot of abuse. I bet you she's still in therapy from all the roasting she got online after she got off this show. Because they would all jump on her. She'd be the only person like trying to be like conservative. And here, it's got these white women here, these are not, they have no backbone.
For this. I agree with that because I respect her, but it's just never okay to mock someone's disability, whether you're Donald Trump or Jasmine Crockett. He was paralyzed from the waist down, Governor Abbott, and when he was 29 years old, a tree fell on him. It's a tragedy, whether you like him or not. That's just off limits. And I think it raises this bigger point that we encounter in the Trump era where just because he or some people like him go low, if we all go low back and respect.
Oh, God. When they go low, we go high.
Then you just end up down in the.
You mean like hiring somebody to write a PP dossier about Trump, hiring people to write smears? You mean that kind of high? I'm sorry, I didn't know what that's what high meant. Weaponizing the Department of Justice to go after him too? Sicking your media cohorts? That's what, I'm sorry, I didn't know what.
The mud. Things don't get better then. And right now, there's this whole question, like, should Democrats fight harder? Should they name call back? Should they shout? I think they should be strategic. I think they should. I don't think that the names help. I think right now there's a Wisconsin Supreme Court race that Elon Musk is pouring millions of dollars into to get the Republicans seated. Democrats have a chance to fight there and have a strategic, tangible impact. Or Mike Waltz's seat in Florida, the national security advisor, is up in a special election. You could win a House seat. Do that rather than the name calling and trying to get headlines.
But the reason Donald Trump has all of these people following him is because he did that name calling. It attracts the press in a way.
Yeah, demagogues are going to demagogue.
But I'm sorry. I was just going to say, you know, you have to be so careful with.
Yeah, Whoopi, you're a perfect person to talk about being careful, Whoopi. That's what you got to be. This show repeatedly has to read those little disclaimers on air or be sued to hell. This show, because you ladies don't do that at all. Whoopi, the amount of times that you go off script to just say random stuff that you end up having lawyers say, hey, Whoopi, read this shit. Before you be working at, the car cleaning outfit down the street. Gonna have us all out of our cushy jobs because of you running your mouth. You and Sonny, read this disclaimer. Hurry up. Read it aloud. Stop everything. Not the people that talk about people going off script and being careful. Being careful. Jesus Christ. The View is anything but careful, guys. Anything but careful.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, you have to be so careful with what you say.
You do.
Because your intentions may have been absolutely what you said. But once people hear you say something, it is not about what you said. It's about what they think your intentions are. So everybody's got to be really careful about what they think your intentions are. So everybody's got to be really careful about what they think your intentions are. So everybody's got to be really careful. I'm sorry.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Welcome to Tim Black's BS detector, folks. It's a new segment. It's called Tim Black's BS detector. Obviously, I'm Tim Black. Yeah, the bad thing about this, and I hate to do this, I got to produce receipts once again for this topic. Whoopi's all cap. She's full of it. It's full of BS. I'm calling BS. I detect it. Whoopi Goldberg, you do know that Jasmine Crockett was on a podcast where she talked about the Hot Wheels thing. It was brought up, and it was very obvious this is a pejorative term that they use to refer to Hot Wheels Gregory Abbott all the time. It's not new. It's what they do. It's known. Here goes Karen Hunter, the brother from MSNBC, and Representative Jasmine Crockett, and they discuss it. They say it out loud, and don't tell me no one in your production staff. They wouldn't find all those clips to do the intro. You didn't know about this, and you're still going to run shade, run interference with Jasmine Crockett. Come on, guys.
Jasmine Crockett is here. Hello. Hey Karen, how are you?
I am awesome. Thank you. People have a pejorative name for Governor Abbott. I won't use it on the airwaves, even though I'm thinking it right now. 13 other governors. People have a pejorative name for Governor Abbott. I won't use it on the airwaves, even though I'm thinking it right now. People have a pejorative name for Governor Abbott. I won't use it on the airwaves, even though I'm thinking it right now.
People have a pejorative name for Governor Abbott. I won't use it on the airwaves, even though I'm thinking it right now.
Sometimes we have a headline about Whoopi and Joy, and then when you read the article, they love each other. You know, they love each other.
I should
So
note,
that's
though,
another
she'd
line.
made the joke before about him at Hot Wheels numerous
And what
times.
did she say that time?
There was like 3 or 4 examples. She referred to him as Governor Hot Wheels, said he was rolling up to the White House, said he...
Yeah.
I
think that...
Not a good idea.
Yeah. It's not just...
What you gonna say, Sonny? Now I have not watched Sonny's comment, so let's see what Sonny says because she's so virtuous. How's the the largest RICO case in New York City history going that your husband's now fighting? Just by the way, since we're talking about ethics and integrity and all that stuff, just wondering how it's going. No one ever talks about it. I don't hear it get covered. But like what we said, you got to be careful. Right, got to be careful.
You just don't mock people with disabilities. I mean,
You don't mock
you
people.
don't mock people. I was going to say,
Yeah.
you just don't mock people at all. And I admire Jasmine Crockett. I do think she's an effective messenger. I think this was a mistake.
Yeah.
And I think when you make a mistake, you have to own it.
Yeah.
You have to do that
Agreed.
because it
Gotta
gives you
do
a
it.
lot more credibility.
What about padding the books in the healthcare industry, like like doing payola basically in healthcare, where you get people you charge the insurance, the Medicaid or whatever, for services that patients don't need to get lab work done that they don't need in order to bill it. That's what your husband is accused of. I'm just wondering if that applies to this. I'm just wondering. And I know it's a cheap but very relevant shot that I'm taking right here. Because, people are full of it. Here we go.
When you do that. I did not know that Governor Abbott was a paraplegic. I had no idea that he went around, and the people in the audience also are shaking their heads. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was...
Well, I'm not shaking my head. Anybody who's seen pictures of him notices he's always sitting down in a chair with wheels on it. Jasmine Crockett's from Texas. It's not about what you know. It's about what she knew. She knew, right? She's a representative from Texas who's originally from Missouri, but she's from Texas and she knows the governor of Texas is paralyzed. But let's keep going. I'm sure Sonny's going to whip this in to make this seem better.
A tree fell on him when he was 26. A lot of his photos are taken from the step down, from the waist up. But she is the representative from Texas, so she very much so must have known that he is in a wheelchair. And so I hope that she does the right. They want to censure her for it, and I don't know that that's not appropriate, but it is appropriate for her to apologize.
If you want me to take everything.
Here we go about being careful again. Remember, Trump has gotten more bad press than anybody on the earth. Like, so it ain't about stop going back to Trump. Getting bad press from Trump at this point is just love taps. It's love letters. So please, Whoopi.
You say when he talks about different people. You said, no, I was just joking. Okay, then let's all do that right now and say she made a mistake.
Yeah.
And we're going to move on. We're not.
Oh, yeah, that's it. I agree. Okay, Whoopi, I agree. Let's just say she made a mistake and move on. Don't say she didn't make a mistake because that only makes it take longer. Same things with the guys with the signal. With Tulsi Gabbard and the crew and Hexeth, where they did not admit they made a mistake. Instead, they lied. People ran interference for a second. Then they copped to it, kinda. And that makes it take several more days because people won't be honest. You're doing the same thing with this. Because the mistake means she meant what she did. It was just wrong thing to do. She was just wrong. That's it. She didn't trade U.S. secrets. She roasted someone, and it was in poor taste because of his condition. And she could have called him dumb, an idiot, Hitler, whatever, like you guys call, anybody who's not, Democrat. What y'all been doing? Fascist. She could have said all those things. Baby murderer, human trafficker, because he sent people to cross the border into blue states. And for that, you called him a human trafficker. Send them to red states, and he's called nothing. He's called a guy doing what he's supposed to do. So, this is all, and I'm sure there's things he's done. We ain't judging his morality. Right now, since you invoked him, he's sitting at home, literally, minding his business, and she roasted his ass. He gets to determine how he's going to respond, and he just did. And the world gets to react the way they react. I've seen people lose more for less. I wonder what Whoopi said when Kevin Hart lost the Grammys. Couldn't host the Grammys because of a 10-year-old tweet. And he's a comedian. What about the guy who lost SNL because of an old comedy routine, and he's a comedian? Shane Willis. Yeah, Shane. I wonder what Whoopi said then. Nothing, because she didn't care. Because it's not, it's just, come on, man. People lose stuff all the time for doing things for far less.
Not censoring people. We're not going to do it. We're going to say to people, just don't do it. Don't make jokes. As Joy says, what is it?
Leave it to the comedians.
Next on.
Yeah, leave it to the comedians who lose gigs all the time, I just said. Look, man, I'm very much perfectly willing to move past this. We could just let it go. But what's bad is the hypocrisy. And they do it all the time. It happens on both sides. This is what they do, right? But just so happens they keep using Trump. And Trump be like, I said it and I'll say it again. Because I'm built for this. Yo, this is my new shirt, built for this. It's kind of popular. Look at that. That beat's jumping out there, man. Built for this. Yeah, go to Pulse, TimBlackPulse.com to get yours. Yeah, man. I'm not in it to roast Jasmine Crockett over this any further. I don't think she got roasted about this at all. I think there's some people that love the head of a side that Democrats are this thing. They're different. And they're not different. I mean, they're different if you mean they're pretentious. They talk down to people like they're the better group, but they do just as much funky garbage all the time. I just put out a clip about this. Yesterday's show was about liberals being hypocritical and worse than open racist because they pretend to be your friends. So that's what the Democratic Party, it has a lot of those people in it. Not everyone, not every single person, but it does. It does reek of this type of hypocrisy and talking down to people. And even Jasmine Crockett be talking about down to people. Telling people they don't know that the life is bad. Telling people they don't know what they were going through under Biden's terms. Telling people they just don't understand how great they got it. Just plain, just gaslighting. So I like to go back to that type of stuff, that type of focus on Jasmine Crockett. But once again, one thing I will agree with Karen Hunter is this was an unforced error made by Jasmine Crockett. Nobody told her to do it. She did it for cheap laughs and something. And now it came, she forgot cameras run. And then she too was she is invincible. She's not invincible. Anybody can be hit. Is it worth a censor? I don't know. I don't think it is. Not at all. Not at all. I think that's too far. All right, let's keep going, Johnson. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Hit like if that makes sense. I just don't think this is worth a censor. But a censor's nothing. A censor is nothing. What is that? Nothing happens. Like, you don't have to sit down. It's not like you get kicked out of Congress. Nothing happens. That guy, Al Green, just got censored. And he did the same thing. Democrats love to play victim. Al Green got kicked out at the State of the Union address because he wanted to get kicked out. That was his goal to protest, to get kicked out. He gets kicked out, and then it's a pariah now. He went with the intention of getting kicked out. He got what he wanted, which is to make a scene and get kicked out in protest. You follow him in the hallway, 5 minutes, 3 minutes after getting kicked out, 30 seconds after getting kicked out, he said, I did that. I meant to do it. I stand on it, and anything that comes from it, I'm willing to take. And then by the next morning, he was, oh, woe is me. This is how they always do us black people. Obviously, because I'm black, they did this. You just said last night you were willing to take whatever backlash comes from it. Now you playing like you a fiddler. You not fiddler. Fiddler didn't get paid. You did. You do. Ain't had a righteous job in 40 years. So I got a problem with the Democrats, man, and I'm sure the Republicans do all types of garbage too. Please don't litter my inbox with their garbage. The point is this: black people don't vote for Republicans. Okay? What good would I be focusing? It would be like me covering cricket. Yeah, me, see, I don't understand y'all. I don't get it. Black people by and large don't watch cricket. I know some of you do. Some of y'all going, cricket, what's that? I can't stand crickets, man. They get into your basement, they make noises. It's a very big nuisance. Like, no, it's a sport that white people play in some country I've never been to. Oh, okay. To me, covering Republicans is like covering cricket because you have no vested interest. You don't like it. You don't pay attention to it. And I cover the group of people that we vote for and we give money to. And we're, for some reason, automatically prone to support. So that's my focus. Let's let it go, Tim. Let's move on to the next segment. What's next on the docket, Johnson? I have no idea. I think we've got Crockett meltdown. Okay, I guess we're going to go to these. This is going to be fun, guys. Hit the like button. Some of you may get upset, but we need to have this conversation. Let's do it.
On deck with Tim Black.
So I already went live today.
Oh, damn. I forgot about this. I forgot I had her. This is Angela Rye. Honest mistake. She doesn't cry too much. She whines too much. I wonder what she's going to say about Jasmine Crockett in Hot Wheels.
But I'm back because I am starting to see not just like conservatives, the right-wing blogosphere, the echo chamber that they have when they hop on to somebody that they want to bully, especially when they did something wrong.
Bully. Now she's getting bullied. Jasmine Crockett is getting bullied. Okay, man.
I'm like, I don't know. Have a whole signal thread about bombing a country, and they know that they...
We got to compare everything to everything, and you're not even speaking about it properly as someone who really knows what they're talking about bombing a country.
They violated the law. So now what they're on is...
Violated the law.
Something that Jasmine Crockett said at a Human Rights Campaign dinner. They want to talk about Jasmine and saying that she was making fun of the governor of Texas for being in a wheelchair. No, she wasn't. There's a whole statement out about that on Twitter. I'm going to put up...
Listen to this. This is why people don't like you, Rye, because you lie. You lie, you lie, you lie. This is why. Because you gaslight and lie. Not only do you do that, it's self-serving. You're just out here doing the same thing you did with Kamala, doing your best to try to earn your spot. I'll take one for the team. I'll stand up and fight for the team. Fighting battles that are losing battles that the jury's already in. Everyone already knows she said it. Whatever bull-ass lie spin on that tweet about, that's not what I meant. Don't believe your lying ears. I know there's several other times I may mention the same thing, but this time when I said it, I didn't mean that. I meant something else. Yeah, Angela Rye, this is why I don't feel sad, bad or sad, or I don't feel any empathy for them when they get jammed up, because they're full of garbage. This is to fool. This is to manipulate and fool and play upon Black people's tendencies to support one another through thick and thin. That's what it is. And all those that defended it, it's a whole little cohort of black liars who lie for each other and never expend that capital to fight on behalf of black people. Not really. They do it for bullshit like BLM. They do it for PSYOPs. They do it for things that help the Democratic Party. But they really don't go out on a limb, not like people that speak truth to power like I do on this platform. This right here is garbage. She's defending the indefensible. Why can't you just say you roasted him? See, Trump would say, this is why Dave Chappelle said, Trump is one of the most honest liars you'll ever meet. He'll tell you. He wouldn't lie about roasting somebody he has no respect for. He'd say, I don't respect him. They're the biggest loser, the biggest liar, the biggest worst. They're not good at their job. They have low IQ. And he would just double down on all the disses. Not Crockett, not you, Rye. You want to come in here and defend it and try to pretend like all of us are stupid. We black. We know what roasting is. Crockett's been roasting people in Congress at congressional hearings to get play the entire time. We don't even know her because that's what she does. That's the only reason why we know her name. No one talks about Shontel Brown because Shontel Brown's not roasting anyone. And that's crazy because she had a budding rap career before she got into Congress. And we got this. So, folks, this is an example of all the things not to do. All the things. And when you look around and you see who's saying, Angela, shut up with the nonsense, cut the cap, that'll show you who are real and who are not real. These are the same people who want to tell you how great Kamala was when she was far from great. These are the same people that want to blame black men for her not getting elected. Even though we voted for her more than anybody else other than white women. I'm sorry, black women. This is the same people, man. These are the same talking heads.
On my page, Jasmine's...
Oh, and by the way, it's nothing to be proud of at all. One day when we're not proud of that, one day when we're happy to be least supportive of a black person who's pushing white supremacy, capitalism, capitalist garbage policies, hollow ideas with no teeth in them. One day when we're willing to say that's a black person and we're not voting for him and they're Democrat, that's when we will have done something that's worth bragging about. Until then, that's nothing to brag about.
Response to what she actually was saying. She's talking about what she calls him Hot Wheels. Let me tell you about all the many wheels. Governor Abbott utilized his executive authorities in the state of Texas to transport migrants.
Oh, this is BS. Yo, we're not going to sit through this. That's old school stuff. She's made mention of his disability. I'm not going to pull it out again. We already played it on the Karen Hunter show. We all know it. Everyone in Texas, black people in Texas, and white people as well, they've heard him be called this before. It's not new. Angela Rye, you didn't have credibility before this. You're the one behind the political savviness of Charlamagne the God, which shows exactly really where your IQ is when it comes to politics and being on the cutting edge, right, of what's going on. The bleeding edge of what's happening with our people as far as politics. You're way behind. And this right here, this don't work. The only low information black people that will listen to this, and I hope they're not a bunch of, let's just say low information people in general, because I guess there are a few people of all descent who are fooled by stupid shit like this. This is stupid. This is stupid. She roasted Governor Abbott in a room full of people for fun, and she enjoyed doing it. And that should be enough. But this only makes matters worse. Angela Rye, you're horrible. You're horrible. I'm not going to let her sit through this. She talks too long about, look at this. Sit down. Why don't you go cry about somebody touching your arm or having to get, checked at the TSA like everyone else? You know, once you go cry about something, Chris Cuomo saw my picture on Instagram and he called me tinsel bottom because I was wearing a tinsel bottom swimsuit, bikini. And I felt violated that he's commented on my Instagram that's posted to the entire world. Get out of here, man. These are not the fighters that you're looking for, Johnson. These are not the fighters, Johnson. So now you gave away my next segment. But I do want to point out one thing, guys. This is something that crossed my mind because it's like, why do black people defend nonsense like this? I think it goes back to a statement, a quote made by Machiavelli. And I don't know if I got it 100% correct, but it goes something like this. It's easier to forgive a foe than a friend. And what I mean by that is, you know, when someone like Angela Rye, and I think people don't understand, when Angela Rye lies to us, there's something about being black in America that makes you want to, you know, you're a minority, first of all. And I hate to use the term minority, but it's usually less black people than white people in situations, particularly in business and employment, what have you. And we tend to see each other as friends. We look across, oh, there goes a black person. That person's got my back, you know? If nothing else, like, I can count on that person in this situation. It's good to look across and see one black person. Very rarely do white people have this experience, okay? Not in America. Now, they go to Africa, they'll feel it. And there's, you know, when I mean Africa, it's a continent. So like many countries in Africa, they feel it. Pretty much everywhere, I think. But in America, it's something that black people feel it. And particularly because of the social dynamics of what has happened in America historically against black Americans, i.e. Jim Crow, slavery, Jane Crow, segregation, all of it. Lynchings, everything. Redlining, racial discrimination, everything in it. And so when we see a black person, we feel a kinship to them. You know, we feel like, okay, that person's got my back. And when you portray that, when you betray that innate automatic feeling, it cuts deep. It cuts way deeper than someone who is not, that you don't have that same closeness to. And you know, and the fact is, people should have to earn that, understand that, but this is operating on a level beneath logic. This is not conscious. This is something that is innate in black people. It's probably a survival mechanism that is triggered somewhere in our DNA, right? So when people are saying, oh, why is it black people hold each other to these standards? Why do we do this? Why do we do that? Because we feel betrayed by the people that was the only people we think we can count on is each other. People that look like us, people that go through, we have a shared experience. And when they come out and lie to us, when they tell us that we're dumb, we don't get it, we need to take classes to understand how our own finances are looking, how our lives are prospering or not, then that really is a problem, right? And you can have a bitterness about that you may not feel when someone else does it, because what would you expect? You know, what do you expect? So, yeah, I just want to mention that. So Angela Rye, this kind of answers the question by Candace Owens, who posed this, and Stephen A., who's such a brilliant sportscaster. He didn't answer it. So I wanted to answer that and also point it out to Angela Rye. It's disrespectful that you would pretend that we didn't hear what we heard and what's happened didn't happen. And you only make matters worse. Not only for Jasmine Crockett, but for yourself. Now, if you want to score points with Jasmine, maybe she foolishly think this is a point, but it'd be better if you just shut up about it. Let it go. Let it get out the news cycle. Because you don't have any power. You just chiming in to butter her up, hoping that maybe she'll do something. You see a rising star. And like Kamala, maybe you could clamp onto it. All right, let's keep going, guys. My next segment is going to be Elon Musk. Is this man lying or what?
I have to sit with this signal thread and stop trying to distract from the main thing. Y'all are a corrupt government, and you're not about to corrupt us by lying to our faces. Goodbye.
By glances over at the car, and moments later they return and quickly start keying the passenger door with a phone in the other hand.
You can tell in the video too, like they're actively starting to record, and they're recording the whole thing. You can easily tell this is a targeted, like there's intent there, and they, you know, kind of a mockery of it, right, with all the recording.
Seconds later, the vandal runs off. The owners, who asked to remain anonymous, notice the damage about a half hour.
Look at that person's face. It's all in the camera. They don't know. Maybe they should look up online, at least know where the cameras are in Teslas. Because this is bad. Like, I've seen person after person caught on camera doing all types of things to Teslas. It's right there, man. It's right there. So,
hour later, and say since then, they have felt unsettled and somewhat fearful.
Next on deck with Tim.
I don't know. What do people think about the Tesla thing, man? What do my viewers think? I've never asked my viewers what you thought about what's happening with Tesla, okay? Whatever's happening, Elon's going to be okay. I mean, he's got more money than anybody else on the planet. He's going to be okay. He's got money, okay? So, you know, I'm not expecting anybody to cry river for Elon Musk and money, you know? And, but see, that's not Elon Musk's car. The kid. That's somebody who worked to buy that car. Like, that's not Elon's car. He made it. But it's not his car. That's a privately owned vehicle by a person who brought it. So if that person came out and decided to whoop your ass with a baseball bat, they'd be well within their rights, in my opinion. And I think that's what needs to happen. Anybody ever broken your car? Ever? Oh, man, it's a horrific feeling, man. Oh, man, I lived in the area. My car was broken in several times. I was almost to the point where I was going to sleep in my truck. I had a Chevy Tahoe. XL joint, and I was going to sleep in it because it kept breaking into it. They even stole my son's, I had a lion called Leo the Lion. I used to sit in the back with him because he was in the car seat, and they had the lion sitting next to him. They not only took the car seat, they took Leo the Lion. Who steals a baby's car seat and a stuffed animal? You know, so, you know, it's unbelievable. Bammers. When you break in someone's vehicle, man, you are violating them on a level, man. And they look, I should have got out of there then. I didn't have nowhere to go. I didn't have the money at the time. You know, my apartment got broken in. Me and my roommate, the apartment got broken into. Then somebody was shooting in the building. Oh, it's a long story. We had to get out of there. They got me out my list. Out my lease was the shooting. And the car getting broken into didn't do it. They had to, the apartment getting broken into didn't do it. When somebody shot it, it's like, you know what, Mr. Black, if you want to get out this lease, we'll let you out the lease. We're going to go ahead and do that for you. But the point is, unless you've been violated like this yourself, you might not understand the level of rage and anger and disappointment and sadness and all the emotions you feel when somebody takes something that belongs to you and destroy it. This is just somebody trying to hurt you. At least when somebody steals something, maybe they got a drug habit, maybe there's an explanation. You know, I'm not saying it's okay, but at least maybe they're selling it because they need a fix. Maybe they need to live indoors, they got to steal stuff. At least you can conjure in your mind reasons that are not personal for why they did what they did. They don't know you, they're trying to come up, whatever. You're still mad. But this, when people are destroying your property and not taking it, it's just to take a dump on you. And that, my friends, to me, is something that Democrats would do. Yeah. But no, it's something people do. But it's something that Elon Musk haters are doing. And, you know, and I think those people tend to skew one way. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this whole thing. Jesus, let's keep going. I like to know the comments. Because we never had the conversation. Next.
Black.
For you, what's the most astonishing thing you've found out in this process?
The sheer amount of waste and fraud in the government. It is astonishing. It's mind-blowing. We routinely encounter wastes of $1 billion or more, casually. You know, for example, like the simple survey that was literally 10-question survey that you could do with SurveyMonkey, cost you about $10,000, the government was being charged almost $1 billion for that.
For just the survey?
$1 billion for a simple online survey, do you like the national park? And then there appeared to be no feedback loop for what would be done with that survey. So the survey would just go into nothing.
Next on deck.
Yeah, I think people don't understand exactly. Or if they do understand, they don't trust Elon. I don't know what it is. Do people not trust Elon and DOGE that they're finding stuff? Or is it they don't care? Like, I don't know. Like, it's weird. Like, is the propaganda like, yo, we can't trust this guy, so therefore, anything they say they found, they got to prove that they found it because we don't trust them. Because it's got to be capped. Or is it just you just don't care because you're like, hey, man, it's government money, man. Everybody need to come up, turn up. I don't know, man.
With Tim Black.
A lot is coming your way, but sometimes you say stuff or post stuff that gets attention. You give it out, in other words. Democratic Arizona Senator Mark Kelly posted on X about his trip to Ukraine to push for continuing to send U.S. weapons and support there, and you posted that he was a traitor. Well, why do that?
Well, I think somebody should care about the interests of the United States above the interests of another country.
That sounds interesting. That sounds like almost something you would want somebody to say if you didn't hate them. Yeah, sort of say, yo, you're supposed to put the interests of America ahead of the interests of other countries. Because I think that other countries pretty much do the same thing, right? I'm thinking that's what they do. I'm thinking they go, what's most important to us? But let's keep going. This is interesting.
And if they don't, they're a traitor.
Yeah, but he's a decorated veteran, a former astronaut, a sitting U.S. senator.
That doesn't mean it's okay for him to put the interests of another country above America.
Obviously, there are some Republicans who think supporting Ukraine is the right thing still, but there is a battle back and forth about how do you think it comes to an end?
Who are you beating in the back room there, Elon? Or is that X, his son? X, did you know Elon got like 15 kids? My brother's on the Nick Cannon. Went to the Nick Cannon School of Making Babies. That brother's doing it, man. They both can afford it, so But no, this is. I like what he says here about Kelly, only because I reserve judgment about how much of a liar he is. Because if you think he's just a big liar, then nothing he says matters.
Well, I think there will be a negotiated peace, and the thing that we should be concerned about is we should have empathy for the thousands of people that are dying every day in trenches, for no movement in the lines. So the borders remain the same. For the past 2 years, thousands of people have died every week for nothing. For what? And I take great offense at those who put the appearance of goodness over the reality of it. Those who virtue signal and say, oh, we can't give in to Russia, but have no solution to stopping thousands of kids dying every day. They just want that to continue forever. I have contempt for such people. I don't want to make that clear.
Yeah. So you're optimistic.
Because they're virtue signaling, and their lack of a solution means that kids don't have a father. It means that parents lost a son. For what? Nothing.
No, that's for something, Elon. I disagree with you there. It's for Democrats to feel sanctimonious. It's for them to feel like they're on the right side of something. Yeah, after all, it's not like Americans are going out there. So they get to feel, good about themselves. They're helping fund the war against the evil Putin. They're not much concerned about the casualties of Ukrainians or Russians. They want to prove a point. They do this with all things, with all people. They do this with my people. They really don't care. Like when a black person gets bodied up, Everybody wants to put a hashtag up. They want to say something. They want remember his name, but then nothing changes, and we just keep on going till the next one comes up. Hey, remember his name instead of saying like, why does this keep happening? What can we do to prevent these things from happening? And let's devote our legislation and get that done. Let's get to the root cause of that, and let's mitigate it. Let's make that our agenda to mitigate those deaths. But we don't. They don't, I should say. They have other, things like marriage and immigration and other things that they're more concerned with. And only when they want a virtual signal, as you pointed, do we even come up again. So, yeah. I remember a movie called Hamburger Hill. It came out in, I think the 90s, and it was about Vietnam. It was a troop, American troops would clash against Viet Cong at some place, and they would just fight for this hill. And it's the one side, the Viet Cong come up the other side, the U.S. comes up the other side. At the end of the day, a whole bunch of death just to take a hill and then leave. And then fight for it again another day. And they called it Hamburger Hill because that was what was left. A bunch of human beings now resembling hamburger. And after watching that movie, even though I was young at the time, I felt a great sense of frustration at the lack of life, the lack of caring about life, the lack of humanity. I know it was a movie, but it just felt like, God, all this for that? All these people died for what? You got to know the characters and they all getting mowed down on a hill for some other people that aren't even there just so they can say they did it, that this is a strategic advantage to take this hill. Elon saying it's even worse because no one's even moving. For 2 years, I have never heard all the people that support the Ukraine war continuing to stop Putin. I have never heard them talk about the casualties to Ukrainians or Russians, or talk about the success or the possibility of success and how likely it is Ukraine actually gets to win whatever that is. We know factually that Vladimir Putin and the Russia took a certain amount of land from Ukraine, and Ukraine is not in a position to take it back. Then, and if you stop today or if you stop 2 years ago, they would have the same amount of land still that was taken because they have not taken back their land that was taken. But we want to keep it going, and if you don't keep it going, you don't love Ukrainians? I say something pretty much every Veterans Day, and that is the best way to honor veterans is to make less of them. Obviously, there are people that disagree with that. I don't know. The next thing, do we even
Kids
get back
don't have a father.
Oh.
It means that parents lost a son. For what? Nothing.
Yeah, it didn't seem to me that he was a lion sacker, like everybody wants to tell me he's a lion sacker. He may be a lion sacker and just be a good actor. He looked a little more, I see more passion in him about this issue than I heard from Democrats. I'm sorry, I haven't heard them be, their thing is about stopping Putin, and Putin's a dictator. He's horrible, but haven't seen passion about the deaths. Haven't seen it.
A father. It means that parents lost a son. For what? Nothing.
Next on.
Yeah, for nothing. When we start talking about DOGE, it gets different. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. There are people that don't agree. They think that it's all smoke and mirrors. They don't know anything about the U.S. government. Obviously, whenever I see somebody, I start responding to them. Because whenever I hear somebody who is saying, Elon's lying about, this and that, and the fraud, the waste, the corruption, okay, they don't understand anything about D.C. They just don't. They just don't understand. They don't know that it takes an act of Congress basically to upgrade systems in the federal government. I know because I worked in it. This is my second career. My first career was working as a federal contractor, government contractor, for private companies. I wasn't a government employee. And I know what equipment we had, and I know what kind of equipment we worked on that was owned by the U.S. government, the federal government. And it was very vastly older, like, decrepit systems, mainframe type systems. And I was a contractor at the Department of Justice for a while, the Office of Litigation Support, where all the records for all the cases, all the big cases and lawsuits were stored. I was a part of that. Then I worked at a couple other agencies. And I'm just telling you, man, if you think it's BS that the systems are old and antiquated, so there's a certain amount of waste. There's a certain amount of waste that I can totally testify to myself. I can also testify to some people probably work really hard. I didn't meet a lot of those people that worked really hard. Most of the people that I met in federal government didn't work that much. Not like contractors had to work, because contractors got fired quicker than the 357. We get fired more times than the M16. That's how quickly we get fired. The shooting and the bullets, that's how quickly they'll fire you. If it's a contractor. No recourse, no nothing. Bye, see ya. Where's your badge? But government employees totally different. So, and that's that's from top to bottom, man. It takes an act of Congress to give it to people sometimes. So, people gonna say whatever they're gonna say. I understand they haven't worked in DC. They don't know. Have they worked in federal government? So people just, since it's him, they go, he's lying. Because Trump's evil, he's evil, they're all evil, he's got money, therefore he's just trying to make more money. He's already got more money than anybody else on the planet. But for some reason, so it doesn't matter, man. If people hate you, it's nothing you could say. And still, I agree, I do want proof. I want proof. But I understand no matter what amount of proof that is given by Elon Musk will be accepted. I'm also aware of that. That it's going to be a negligible amount of people that are going to change their position because they've been so vocally opposed to anything that he says or does. They're going to go, he's lying. He produced truth. You're going to say, you probably made that up too. We already know that's what's going to say. They're going to say, in this interview, he's got all these people that seem to be intelligent people, that are commenting and responding, telling why they're working with DOGE, what they hope to accomplish in this room. And according to the Democrats and all these people online, all of them are lying. None of them are serious. And this is all to take money out the government and put it in Elon's pocket, or to privatize all the systems and put it on the private market. And I can't answer to the last one because who knows what people's agendas are. All I'm speaking to is specifically the nature of our systems in the government from a technical standpoint. And that's what Elon Musk is. And I was in IT, I was in technology. So you can believe it or not believe it, man. You can say, oh, Tim, you're working for Elon. There's nothing you can do, man. People say whatever. Anytime they disagree with me or they take, I'm working for Trump or I'm working for Elon or I'm doing this or I'm doing that. It's never, we just got a different opinion. You work in a hotel. You've been working in the hotel industry. Don't know anything about government agencies. I'm telling you from my perspective, and you go, that's because you love Elon. No, I don't love Elon. I actually have experience in the area. You don't, and you still don't care. You don't care. You don't want to know the truth. But billions of dollars are going out. And the only reason why I really give a shit about it is because I would like at some point for us to be able to say, hey, where'd that money go? Oh, y'all saying all that money? Okay, where we putting it at? That's when I'm really going to be interested. So I don't cover much on this at this point. But if they're recovering billions of dollars, I want to know what we're going to do with those billions of dollars. Very rarely do we get the conversation. Like, this is an opportunity. I see it as an opportunity. I don't know what my black representatives are thinking about. They're not thinking about black America. Because instead of shitting on Elon and saying how much a liar he is, you should be priming yourself to go, let's start gearing up now for the demands we're going to make on our government for the money that's going to be freed up. Because you're not going to be able to stop what they're doing anyway. So why not be strategizing how we can rise to this occasion? But I bet you we got the Congressional Black Caucus waiting to say stupid things like, we don't want no parts of that money. Watch. Watch, because they're going to have a constituency that is so backwards that they'll feel like they are jeopardizing their ethics to say, hey, do something for my community with that money. We don't want that money. It's dirty money. You stole that from Social Security recipients. Now, we took it out of their bullshit systems that were costing us billions of dollars. Okay. He said, we don't even look into problems that aren't at least $1 billion. We don't even try to, even examine it if it ain't $1 billion. You're not really interested in that? My thing is, guys, Trump already won. So if you can at least come up with new talking points for why people are doing what they're doing, he already won. The election is over. It is not to help Trump win. You can't just admit our government is just a slush fund for people to make money. And I hope you don't think that we've been getting this money. We ain't been getting the money. All right, let's keep going, John.
We should have empathy for the thousands of people. And they're nothing.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Whenever I'm trying to, get my point across, whenever I think, we're on the right track, where we could be in a position where the masses of people can rise to the occasion and recognize, hey, man, my eyes are open. I see what's going on, and we ain't going to take it no more. And just when I think we're about to turn the corner, we recognize it. Kamala lost. The Democrats, they're on their back heels. We got them on their back heels. We done crossed them over. It's time now to make them get on our game plan or get gone. Here they go. Here come the sellouts right in the middle of our game. No. This is how I see Angela Rye, Bakari Sellers, Joy Reid, Don Lemon. This is what they're doing. Walking right in the middle of whatever we got going on, Johnson. Walking right through our opportunities. Just stomping through. That's what they're doing, Johnson. One more time for the people in the slow sections who are doing something else. This is what I see. This right here is Maxine Waters. Maxine Waters and Clyburn in honor of the Congressional Black Caucus as Black Americans, conscious Black Americans, try to move us forward and try to work
on deck
strategically to make things better for the kids coming behind us. All right, keep going, Johnson.
With Tim Black.
That man put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung on him. Immediately.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like, I'm not going to get into LeBron, Stephen A. Smith thing, but I will say, hearing Stephen A. Smith say he was going to swing on LeBron is about as realistic as hearing Don Lemon say he's an independent journalist. It's hearing Joy Reid say she was fighting for the people and her show was really about the people. It's just Cap Calloway. That's what it is, man. Like, there's something like you should get struck by lightning. You know what I'm saying? This Stephen A. Smith quote, to me, epitomizes all the gaslighting they do. Because if anybody thinks Stephen A. Smith was going to punch LeBron out,
Next on deck with Tim Black.
By the way, it just makes me laugh.
That man put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung on him. Immediately.
And you would immediately hit the floor. Immediately. You'd immediately been gumming applesauce for 2 months. Immediately. You would have been in the upper room. Immediately. We've seen you punch the punching bag. Steve, does Steve know that time when he was punching the punching bag that we could see him? Cat Williams. Does Stephen A. Smith know we could see him when he was punching that bag? He was like, he was in that bag. Does he know we can see him throwing them soft ass shots? We saw you, Steven. Hey, man, we saw what you working with, bruh. Bruh, you report on athletes. You are not an athlete. You know? Come on, man. It's okay, man. It's got to be a very humbling thing. We're seeing you're around men in their prime. Gifted men, athletically gifted men in their prime. You're reporting on them every day, and then there's you. Past your prime, unathletic. It's got to be a very humbling experience, man. And you got a big ego too? Oh, God. It is what it is. And I just love this because this to me is the Democrats. This is after this is after every congressional hearing, after every This is Republicans and Democrats after the hearing's over, after the cameras go out. And that's when the cameras come back on. This is them when the cameras go away. Hey, how you doing, man? I'm doing okay. Yeah, okay. All right. Cameras back on? Okay. Forget you, Democrat. Forget you, Republican. Yeah, see, that's the... Yeah, man, so how the kids? Kids okay? Yeah, kids are fine. You coming over for the cookout? Yeah, come through. Okay. Okay, you feel it. Good. I don't know, man. It's just truth. That's what it is. Okay.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
We're trying to get approved, if we can.
Now, I saw this. Now, this is something, I don't know if Trump is actually thinking this is going to happen. This reminds me sort of Biden, because Biden, like he said he was going to, cut student debt, do all this stuff. He ain't doing any of that. All that got overturned. He knew it was going to get overturned, too. Biden ended up helping 10% of people that have student loan debt. 10%. And we got Democrats who think we can't count to 10. 10 seems like a lot if all you got is 10. And, if that's all you know that's there. But once you find out that 10% is just 10%, not 10, like total isn't 10, hundreds to total, and you got 10, it don't seem like that much. Well, that's how many people that Biden actually reduced their student loan debt. Some of it, not all of it, some of it, 10%. But this does sound good. I don't know if Trump's going to be able to get it done. But if he could do this, yeah.
If you borrow money to buy a car, you're allowed to deduct interest payments for purposes of income tax, but only if the car is made in America. So if the car is made in America, you get a loan, you can deduct the interest. That's a big saving. A lot of people in that part of the world, in terms of buying cars, a lot of them don't think in terms of deductions. People that think in terms of deductions are very wealthy people, but people are going to start understanding what a good deduction is all about. So when you get a loan to buy a car, and I think it's going to pay for itself. I don't think there's any cost. I think you're going to have so many cars built, but you're only going to get that deduction of interest if the car is made in the United States of America. So I'm going to sign this, and Mike, I hope you can get that, because I think it's going to be amazing in terms of the number of cars that are going to be made because of it.
Next.
Yeah, man, if you got an American car and you were able to write off on your taxes any of the interest payments, just imagine that. How many cars you would sell in America? I mean, who would buy a Toyota? Why would you buy a Honda? Now, once again, like, I don't know, because they're foreign-made cars, Hyundai is setting up shop here in America. They're setting up I think it's they've got a couple of plants. I think they're setting up a new plant. Was it Alabama or was it Georgia? I forget where it was. But yeah, they're supposed to be moving in because they want to do their steel production here. So they want to avoid some of the tariffs. It's already having dividends, and Trump was with the CEO of Hyundai. So I don't know if it's American-made car made in America. Doesn't have to be American-made car. It's made in America. That's the difference, right? So the effect of people, of companies moving their plants to America to employ Americans. I don't know. But since it's Trump's idea, we all know it's wrong. It's a lie. It's not good. It's fascism. It's Hitlerism. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But it's good to be able to report on something that might actually help people for a change. So we thought we'd throw it in. But hasn't happened. Hasn't happened. We'll just see what happens.
On Deck with Tim Black.
It's time to speak up. They're rolling back segregation.
When I hear people talk about this one, man, this was something that was a big item. This was everywhere, man. It was because they were saying Trump, he did an executive order that took out the language in the federal contracting language, part of the red tape that you got to fill out if you're a contractor or subcontractor, that you had to adhere to certain standards that are already, enshrined in our Constitution. It's already illegal to discriminate and to segregate based on race, religion, orientation, whatever, right? So that's already against the law. But some people, when they saw it, the proliferation of liberal corporate media, right? Corporate media saying that, yo, he's trying to bring back slavery. I mean, he's trying to put us back in Jim Crow with segregation. And there were people all over, particularly on TikTok and YouTube, man, making videos about this. This lady is really believing that that's what's happening. So one side, we got people going crazy, going, Trump trying to make it segregated again. Oh no, America's gone to hell. Even though a lot of places in America is very much segregated, lady. You need to get out more often. You need to get out more often. There's a lot of segregation. Chicago is one of the most segregated cities in America. To this day, DeAndre, to this day, Deontay. So yeah, it's a lot of segregation already happening. But this lady about to lose her mind. And then there's another group of people, particularly black people, going, bring it on. I think we were doing better when we were segregated. Yeah. And I don't know, man, because our tax dollars probably weren't going where they were supposed to go. Yeah, it wasn't, separate was never equal. We were supposed to benefit from, certain services and certain community services, public goods that we weren't receiving. And they could keep that up because we were segregated and it would only hurt us. So, yeah, I think people they're looking at the past through rose-colored glasses. And I think that happens sometimes.
They are rolling back segregation. It is now no longer illegal to require separate facilities for people of different races. It is no longer illegal to say, here's the white water fountain and here's the colored water fountain.
She really believes that, man. No facts at all. Now, that is still illegal. You know what? Go do it. Go put a sign on the water fountain. See what happened to you. Come on down to MLK. Go here to Iverson Mall and over there in Oxon Hill, Maryland. Go ahead and put a sign up on the don't even have water fountains anymore. I guess you could go to the bathroom and do it. I don't know. Go ahead and make your signs and see what happens. Then film your TikTok. Post the signs up and then film it. While you're filming it, let's see what happens. It's going to be really interesting.
To be clear, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is still in place and has not been disbanded. But we know what their goal is.
Man, I'm about to hurt some feelings on this joint. We know it hasn't been disbanded. So you said all of that. Look, man, this is how bad our media's gotten. Our media game is so dirty and corrupt and crooked and slimy, full of scumbags, that everybody's now a scumbag. Grandma just got on here. Ginger just got on here and basically gaslit people for about 20 seconds. Just to get, make sure the video got going good. Maybe you don't click away. Just to start on you like, oh my God, he gonna bring back Jim Crow. Just to say, psych, But you know that's what they really want to do, right? That's how bad it's got, Johnson. Oh, everyone's a scumbag now for clicks. Man, we ain't good, man. We're not good. We're not good. We're all infected. Look at her.
There is always step one in a process.
Oh, it's always step one in the process. Let's keep going. Is anybody else going to comment on this?
With Tim Black.
I just think it's absolutely hilarious how people are getting on this app and panicking, specifically non-black people. They're like, oh my gosh, you're bringing segregation back. What are you guys going to do? We're going to do absolutely nothing. What we told you guys 4 to 5 months ago we were going to do. This man's whole campaign was founded on the basis of racism, and everybody thought shit was sweet. And then he started putting it in y'all's face, and they're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Like, he's messing up the country. He's messing up. We told y'all that. We told y'all what was going to happen. And the 92% of us that voted for Kamala Harris, we're taking a break for the next 4 years. Y'all.
Please do. Please take a break from the electoral process altogether. Just hang it up. Because you vote based on one thing. Identity. That's it. Identity, as if people that look like you can't be full of shit too. That's one thing about white people. White people know. In America, white people know. Just because somebody white don't mean they won't steal from you, rob you, lie to you, set you up, throw you in handcuffs, put you in jail. It was a white judge sentencing white kids in an all-white town to go to the reform school, to basically go to juvenile detention and give them years, all for money. So white people will pass this. White people know. White people do white people bad. It's black people that think all white people stick together. That ain't true. That's the ones that are getting money together, like the mafia. But they're willing, they prey on each other like nothing. Prey on each other like nothing. And in this, it's like you need to understand that black people steal from black people. You can live in a neighborhood and know that people breaking each other's cars, and, black people robbing each other, black people beating somebody up, man, beating old ladies up, taking the Social Security check. Remember back in the day? Like that show Potomac Gray, where he was getting his Social Security and the young boy was trying to steal his Social Security, and another crackhead lady was trying to get, like, we know people prey on us who look like us. But you have it, like, including politicians. So Maxine Waters could say anything, live worth $10 million and make $170,000 a year. And worth multiple millions of dollars just from doing one job, a less than $200,000 a year job. And you don't even never cross your mind. And maybe these people sold out a long time ago. Cory Booker, another one. You think Cory Booker's a great guy? Oh, Cory Booker, because he's brown. Cory Booker was like, man, I ain't signing off for no damn health care for y'all. I'm about to get this health care money. I got this big pharma money going into my campaign, lady. Oh, come on. Come on. We need love. And I need campaign donations. Yeah, but see, you think just because they black, they don't do that. So sit down. Sit down. Everybody got an internet connection. Nobody do no research. Stop acting like you weren't around in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. Stop talking like you think it was sweet. You watch too many, you watch too many, I don't know what shows you watch. You do know Emmett Till lost his life in the 50s, right? You know what's going on. You know the church bombings. You know the three little girls, the little girls that were bombed in the church. You know about Selma. You know about all the stuff that happened in our history. Thousands of people gone missing. That's around the time you talk about. And you go, we could just go back to that. Well, not really all that. And these are the same people that keep telling us, folks. They keep telling us, what you mean about make America great again? It's the same people that are quick to say, make America great. When was it great? And now you're talking about going back there yourself. You know what? You need to go ahead and support Byron Donalds, because Byron Donalds was saying something similar. But you called him a sellout in a spoon. You call him Django. You called him Steven from Django for saying that because you don't like him. And then you're basically saying the same thing. But it's different when you say it, right? When Byron Donald was like, hey, we were sticking together before, back before we were sticking together. You mean before we had civil rights? You mean before when it was a bunch of, when it was open sundown towns, when they would lynch you for trying to talk to white women? Yeah, I guess we did stick together a little bit more. We didn't have a choice. We didn't have a choice. We did not have a choice. They came and got Emmett Till out his family's, extended family's house in the middle of the night. And when they dragged, the people tell you when they dragged the Tallahatchie River, they found all these other bodies of black kids and black men that were in that pod. It wasn't just him. They found several people before they found him. Because that was like the dumping ground for all the Negroes. So yeah, you just keep on talking, keep on with the stories. Sound good to be on TikTok to not know anything and just say stuff. Nice hair.
Did segregation become legal again this week? I'm Cara Fontano, and I'm a civil rights lawyer. Let's talk about it. Earlier this week, news headlines began going around talking about whether or not an executive order signed by President Donald Trump actually rolled back the clock on segregation. The reality is, although it made a lot of headlines, that order really didn't do much of anything. The executive order that Donald Trump signed actually talked about whether or not there needed to be language in every federal contract prohibiting segregation. But it did nothing to disturb all the laws that are currently on the books discussing segregation and prohibiting racial discrimination. So despite removing that language from contracts, it's actually quite redundant. There are several laws on the books that prohibit racial discrimination in the United States, some of which prohibit racial discrimination in housing, in contracting, and in the workplace. And nothing that Donald Trump wrote in any executive order will disturb that. The only way for an existing federal law to be overwritten is for either Congress to rewrite the law and pass it through both houses and get it signed by the president, or for the Supreme Court to overrule a federal statute because it's unconstitutional. Neither of those things have happened in any case, and so segregation remains illegal in the United States. I'm Cara Fontano. Follow me for more content like this about your right.
Next.
And I also like to add, there is a reason, because people say, Tim Black, well, why is it that Trump did it? He must have did it for a reason. He did it to signal to people what he's going to do. It must be fun to live in your head and just come up with scenarios that are all doomsday scenarios. This is why I believe he did it. I think he did it because you keep looking at America based on you and black and white people, but you forget there are a lot of other people in America. So maybe there were other people that were using these clauses in the federal contracts when it comes to LGBTQIA people. And when it comes to new immigrants. Yeah, because those are people too, right? So I think what I was reading about this is that the new DEI content that was in some of these contracts were putting stipulations on trans folks having certain access to certain things and being treated like they were being like they were a group of people that were under attack, or so to speak. So that was part of it. This is part and parcel of the DEI rollbacks that took place. I keep telling people a lot of the DEI rollbacks and things of that nature weren't as much about black people as you think. A lot of it had to do with the pushback of the trans, the identity, not black, but the identity, gender identity type of changes. Yeah. So that was the problem. Well, that was what they've had a problem with. And that's what has really encouraged it. And the bad thing about it is, too many times black people get used as the means to get those changes done. They very quickly to throw us in there and say, well, you discriminate like you did black people, which brings me to my next segment. Lord have mercy. So everything about us, yeah, everything is that black and white. There are other things. There are other groups. There are other issues.
On deck with Tim Black. Next on deck with Tim Black.
One more time.
I'm feeling compelled, given the debate this morning, similar to your remarks, Madam Chair. I recall a time in our country's history, not that long ago, given that my grandmother just passed away, where people like my grandfather were told that they could not participate in sporting activities because he was a Black man. I can recall a time in our country's history, Madam Chair, where people like my grandfather and my great-grandfather were not allowed to participate in processes and places in our society because of the color of their skin, because people for years, for generations, had told our society that Black people were less than human, that Black people were animals, that Black people did not have the brain capacity to compete with white Americans. And as I'm listening to this debate, Madam Chair, it reminds me of a time in our country where people generated science to compel people to believe in the argument that my father, my grandfather, my grandmother, my great-grandparents were less than in our society. And Madam Speaker, Madam Chair, I would just say that the beauty of our society, the beauty of being human beings, and I hear that a lot from my colleagues across the aisle, that we should just all engage as if we are humans. So I'm going to compel us to remind each other that in the beauty of being human, we have the ability to evolve, we have the ability to grow, we have the ability to learn, Madam Chair, and I'm just feeling compelled this morning to remind us that we have evolved as a society, we have evolved.
That's a hell of a speech, ain't it, man? She's really talking about the evolution and how we all need to work together. She threw all the Black stuff in there, man. She is really onto something, man. This is something else. Do you feel a soul stirring, like awakening inside yourself that, child, this woman is really talking that talk, man. This is riveting stuff, man. Wow, what is she talking about, guys? All this is being said, you won't believe this, all this is being said because she feels that when you don't allow trans women to play biological women's sports, you are treating trans women the same way Black people got treated. Yeah, you're treating Black people and you're treating trans women like Black people. And her grandfather on her cousin's side or mother's side, because there's very little melanin in this sister, somewhere there's traces of something in there. Yeah, she wants to go on the diatribe and compare it to Black people. So that's what you're listening to. I don't know if anybody could see what she was talking about.
As a community, to recognize that Black people are not less than, women are not less than, and that it is an opportunity in our society to remember that as we grow as humans, that we can include people, that we can bring people together in our communities.
Okay, so her name is Christine Reeves. She's a representative out of Washington State. And she thinks that discriminating against trans women, or it's discrimination against trans women, not to allow them in women's locker rooms or to play in sports alongside biological women. And see, this is what she's got wrong. I got 4 points. 4 points, folks. Biology isn't prejudice. Jim Crow is not the same thing. It's not the same application here. Jim Crow was about hating people for their skin color. Had no basis in reality. Sports, however, rules are about real physical differences. Men, even trans women, are usually stronger and faster than women because of how their bodies are built. You know, biology. Keeping it fair, Jim Crow locked Black people out of everything for no good reason. Keeping trans women out of women's sports isn't hate. It's about making sure biological women have a fair shot to win since they don't have the same physical boost as trans women do. Number 3, not the same fight. Jim Crow was a huge, cruel system that hurt Black people in every part of life. This is just a rule about who can play in women's sports. Not every part of life. And comparing them makes the old struggles sound less serious than they were. This is about facts, not feelings. Lastly, science shows trans women keep an edge, like more muscle mass. even after hormones. This isn't about being mean. It's about keeping sports fair for women based on what the numbers say. And I want to find out a little bit more about this woman who's frankly taking a big, long dump on Black America in our history. Just because your great-grandfather or your grandfather on your mother's side, because obviously you are mixed with several things, just because you are 1/8 a Black person doesn't mean you get to take all of Black history and use it for this BS story narrative that somehow trans women should be able to compete with biological women, even though they have an unfair advantage of them. I want to know more about this woman. I say, who is this woman? And then I found out who she was. Christine Reeves, here she is.
My name is Christine Reeves. I have the honor and the privilege of representing the 30th Legislative District, South King County, Federal Way area.
I do not think Christine Reeves has the right to, embellish and incline herself and take liberties with Black history and Black pain and suffering. But just like in the Democratic formula, because that's what she is, there she is using it. Using Blackness, Black pain and struggle, Black historical pain, in order to benefit a group that's not even focused on Black issues. It's not about Black people. It's about trans women.
Well, as a mom of 2 young kids in our public schools, I fight every single day to make sure that our...
Ta-da! Yeah, I had a feeling that you would be a person that really rooted in the Black community so much, huh? But very quick to invoke it if it means an opportunity might open up where you might get some limelight, where you could get some publicity, where you can raise your profile using a little bit of Blackness you have. Now, I'm not saying you're a less Black person because you're married to a white man. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, I knew it. That's all I'm saying. I knew it. I'm clairvoyant. I can see through walls too. That's why I'm wearing these glasses, so I don't shoot up my whole basement. Yeah.
Our public schools are fully and fairly funded.
Yeah, bye, Christine Reeves. You suck. Okay. Last story. Now, before we go to this last story, I want to remind everybody, you're watching the Tim Black Show. We do this every day except Saturday and Tuesday, which means we're not doing this every day. We do it 5 times a week, okay? Go to timblacktv.com, become a member of the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel, there are the Tim Black Wolfpackers on there. We have a group of people. We're building a great community. Tonight's show is out of respect, and it's dedicated to James Allen, faithful viewer, supporter of the Tim Black Show. Go get a Tim Black mug at timblackmug.com. And let's go to the last story, fam. Bye, Christine Reeves.
All day, every day. And then as somebody who cares a lot about leaving a planet to my kids that is inhabitable and inheritable, I focus a lot on environmental justice initiatives. I also have the privilege of chairing the Ag and Natural Resources Committee. So it's
You should focus a lot on Black people the way you were just invoking Black people's issues in order to help your bullshit argument about trans women that my granddaughters should have to compete against biological men.
Great space to be thinking proactively about that problem solving. What I always tell people is I think they would be surprised. We talk a lot about it as a citizen legislature, a part-time.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
My next story is Marvin Sapp.
And they understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. I'm challenging each of you all down here to give a $20 seed. I used to think $20 was a lot of money. $20, believe it or not, when my late wife, Melinda P. Sapp, was alive, was a good date. I could take her to the movies, buy a box of popcorn, get 1 soda, 2 straws. I wasn't cheap, that's swag. I was looking in her eyes, she's looking in mine. Can't do that no more. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. I got you. Let's see. So put your 20 away, preachers. That 20 wasn't for you. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm gonna have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving.
Listen to this guy. Listen to this, man. Man, I can't believe it, man. This is unbelievable. We subject ourselves to this chicanery. I can't believe black people allow themselves to be corralled like this. I cannot believe it, man. This guy is jumping out the jail. You know, he put a price tag on the faith, on the good word. I didn't know it had a price tag to come with the word. I always thought the Bible, I mean, if you got a Bible, you pay for the Bible, unless somebody gave it to you. I thought the word was free. Said the word is free, but you know, but the understanding is, you know, the assembly hall, that's costing money. Yeah, the praising of God is not free. Man, this is the type of thing that makes people totally turned on to religion. Secular religion.
Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk.
Yeah, bring them up here. We need, you know, he sound like Nino Brown, Johnson. He sound like Nino Brown. He sound like a drug dealer. He sound like a shakedown artist. This brother sound like he is embezzling people.
Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now.
Listen to him. Listen how he talking. You get to, hey, shut them damn doors. Get to moving. I'll put that 20 back. We need 100 out of you. I don't know what you think this is. You up here, it costs money to be next to me. See this sweat? If it get on you, that's 500. Don't stand too close.
Come. Even if you're giving tangibly, just put your hand take your phone and stick it on the.
Look at him getting up and moving too. Lord have mercy, man. We got problems, Johnson. We got problems.
The bucket.
Man, I have a hard time understanding why people would subject themselves to this. For this man to talk. For him to talk.
Shh. Giving his worship.
Look at where he talk. Listen to him. Shh, don't talk about it. I know somebody back there is saying, who the hell I think I am? Shh, don't talk. You know they back there talking smack about him. Hell, no talking. I know, I can hear people are talking about me. I can hear that Tim Black. Yeah, I can hear you talking right now, Tim Black talking over me, roasting me right now for what I'm doing. But I'm gonna get this $40,000 though. I know that.
Giving is worship. Giving is worship.
And stealing is against the law. And punking people out of their money is against the law. And being a sucker is not a good way to live life. And I feel like all that is going on, folks. We got a problem in the black community, and it's we're too committed to the chicanery and the nonsense. We just saw. And first thing I want to do is I want to do three things. Three things before we get into really roasting him down. I want us to acknowledge that black people, we treat religion different than all other groups in America. Black Americans stand out as a significant more religious than the general U.S. population across multiple measures. So nearly 80% of black Americans consider religion very important, compared to just 56% of Americans. The numbers tell a powerful story. 97% of black adults believe in God. or a high power versus 90% of the general population. So more black people believe that if there's a God or a high power than the rest of the country. We believe that the most. Black Americans also attend church more regularly and pray more frequently than other racial groups in America, maintaining a strong connection to faith communities that have historically served as pillars of support and social change. So that's the first thing. We're just more religious. We are more religious than most Americans. Financial investment's the other part. The black community's commitment to faith is reflected in substantial financial contributions. Black America pours approximately $12 to $13 billion into churches and religious institutions. This represents a remarkable financial commitment, especially considering persistent wealth gaps and economic challenges that black people face. We're trying to spend our way out of the wealth gap by giving money to churches like this one with Mr. Sapp. Most of these funds, about 60%, go towards staffing and operational costs at churches. Sounds a lot like the federal government. Some community leaders have questioned whether these resources could be partially redirected towards building black wealth through home ownership, education, or entrepreneurship while maintaining spiritual communities. That hasn't happened now. No, money just goes into a pit, into salaries for the deacon or the pastor. Now, here's the other part. As those are all saying, when I read them, I was like, man, why are we falling for the nonsense? Why are we falling for the okie doke? What's up with us? I want you to know that things are changing. Young generations don't feel the same way. A significant generational shift is reshaping the religious landscape. Among Black Americans, young Black adults, Gen Z and millennial cohorts are less than likely than their elders to attend predominantly Black congregations and more likely to identify as religiously unaffiliated. So we're pulling away from this. Like, new school Black people, new Black people, younger Black people are pulling away from this type of activity where we just blindly going with following some pastor talking. At least not in the organized sense. They may believe in God, but they're not falling for they're not going behind Mr. Sapp the way some do. Have in the past. This mirrors a broader American trend, but represents a notable change for a community with such religious roots. So yeah, the whole country's doing this, but it stands out that we're doing it because we've never broke from the church. And then it gets into non-denomination, Baptist affiliation. It declined from 50% to 45% over recent decades, while non-denominational and evangelical identifications have increased. So younger Black Americans have a tendency to go to non-denominational churches. They're not even, don't call me anything other than I'm a believer, that type of thing. Back to Sapp. This is one of the things that people can't say about religion, that I hear people ridiculing religion about, and that is, man, there should really be no price tag placed on, placed on worship and placed on gathering together, placed on helping people deal with life. I get it. People need somewhere to go. They feel like they feel good to be able to go somewhere to share amongst people and also feel connected to each other and to a high power. I get that. I'm not even knocking that. I was raised in a religion myself. I know what that's like. And I think there are some positives that you can get. But when you put a dollar amount on it, when you're like it's bad enough. It's bad enough when you put it like in people's faces that they got to give up money. It's another thing to say, lock the doors. And it start telling people exactly how much they got to give. You don't know people's situation. I mean, this is way too far, I believe. This is beyond too far. This is really taking away from everything that you say that you stand for. Don't get me wrong. I didn't say it costs money to keep things operational. I get that part, right? I understand that. But why does he need $40,000 that day? Did he say so in that sermon? Why we need $40,000 today? Are we going down to do something for the homeless? We want to put everybody in the city of wherever this was at in a hotel for a couple of days? Like, what are we doing with this $40,000? Like, what's the public good? What are we doing? Are we about to, make some arrangements for some people or house some people from the congregation that are now in hard times because there was an earthquake or a natural disaster or a fire? Like, what's going on? I didn't hear any mention of anything like over the top that's happening. And if so, why wasn't that the focal point of the conversation? Not the money aspect, but what the money was going to be used for immediately, because this is a crisis at hand. And if he'd have said something like that, I feel a little bit different. But he would have to come out of his pocket with more than $100, which is what I saw him peel off. He should have been like, I'm gonna put up 1,000. Because we really need to help this sister out, or this brother out, or these brothers out, or these kids out. And that's what people expect. That's what I would hope people would expect. So I feel like this is, once again, like, we're back at it, guys. It's sort of like the same way I feel that we allow the Democratic Party to walk all over us, we allow these preachers to do the same thing. The exact same thing. And like we are incumbent, like we are committed, like they have ownership. Like we have given them some type of exalted position that they do not deserve. And this is why this is what makes this work so difficult. You try to say to black people, hey, we should hold the Democrats accountable. They can't even hold their pastor accountable. Some of the comments I've seen on some videos about this, I was looking just before I went live, the people ridiculing people that would criticize this guy. And not just him, what they call it, I forget the name for the prosperity preachers. No wonder why we keep voting Democrat 95% of the time. Because people like Sapp are getting their pockets greased. Somehow someone's giving money to them. They in turn shake down their audience. It's just a perpetual spinning wheel. And at the end of the day, we end up on the bottom. Not Sapp, not the presidential candidates and the senators and the Congress people that come through, or the governors or the mayors or whoever the hell else that they want to prop up, typically for a cost. Like Roland and Oprah got paid. Roland, Oprah, and Al all got paid to help out Kamala. Yep, all of them got their beaks wet. To me, it's all a shakedown. And that's going to be hard for some people to accept. You ain't got to accept it. Your lack of acceptance doesn't change it being true. Folks, it's a shameful thing, man. Supposed to be there to help the people, to uplift the people. You should make the community better. Instead, you're taking money and resources out of the community. All right, guys, that's all I got. I'm Tim Black. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate y'all once again. Put in the comment section how you feel about it. Hope we got some comments tonight on the Friday night. Let me know, guys, what your thoughts are. I can't do comments while I'm doing the show, but now I like to go to comments and check it out, man. Let's see what my people think, man. Hope I was speaking for you. I don't know. Black Mamba, how you doing, Black Mamba? What's going on, sister? Thank you so much. Sherry Culverton's in the house. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate you. Dana Mitchell came through with a big don't. There go Dana. I hadn't seen Dana in a while. What? Nobody. Stop. Siri. No problem. I won't. Thank you, Dana Mitchell, for supporting the show. The Tim Black Show. I'm glad to know that you're doing well. And once again, we appreciate your generosity. Hey, I'm not Sapp, though. I'm not shaking you down. But I appreciate you helping this show keep doing what it's doing. But we're going to do it either way. You just make it easier. Thank you, sister. I appreciate you. Trust no parties in the house, man. I try to tell you, trust no parties in the house. Thank you, Trust No Party. Elizabeth Looney's in the house. Thank you as well. Holding it down. Spice Radio 504, excellent broadcast as usual. Thank you, Spice. Yeah, man. It's the, man, it's a sad thing kind of got me. Because I'm trying to get people to wake up. I want to get black people particularly. I want the whole world to wake up. I want the whole country to wake up to what the Democrats are doing. Because there are good people that actually believe what the Democrats say. And I want them to know, nah, man, wake up. I want them to wake up. They think they're helping Black America and all these other people by siding with the Democrats and going with their nonsense. And that conversation is not just for black people. But, yeah, it's like, how successful can I really be waking them up, man, when they won't even wake up to this? This guy said, we need $40,000 today. You can't leave, and lock the door. And nobody cussed him out. Nobody threw things. Nobody waited for him outside by his car. Hey, Kurt. Oh, this is Judah. Judah Ali, thank you. Spot on, highly entertaining. Show is pure gold. Thank you, Judah. I appreciate you, Judah. Much respect, man. And I need to hear that, man. I do. And just the fact you guys feel the way you feel, I'm telling you, I need to just stop. I need to just let that be the anchor and be the indicator of how well we're doing. Is, how people feel about the show. So thank you, Judah Ali, my brother. I want to thank everybody that came through tonight, man. Have a safe weekend, man. Please. Everybody be safe this weekend. I don't want to hear no bad stories. Life hard enough, man. I don't want no bad stories about my people, man. Thank you for sharing the show, putting it out. Thank you for retweeting. Thank you for reposting. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for telling a friend. All the great stuff you guys do to keep this thing going. It's a labor of love. That's all I got. Buck Bewley and Black Mama, thank you for what you do. It's been a great week. We'll be back Sunday. We'll be back Sunday, Johnson, to turn it up. Yeah, right here on the Tim Black Show. Don't forget, go pick yourself up and Built for This t-shirt or a mug. Support independent media, but do it because you trust and believe that we are committed to kicking ass. We're going to kick ass and take names. And we don't even need their names. We're just going to beat the lies out of corporate media. Because I'm telling you, man, they're getting away with murder. They really are. I believe they're getting away with murder. Somebody got to stand up to them. And that's what we're doing right here on the Tim Black Show. I'll see y'all soon. Remember, don't let anybody take your cornbread. That's right. That's your cornbread. Keep your cornbread. It's a cornbread heist going on in America. It's being conducted by the Democratic and the Republican parties. But since we all voting Democrat, that's who's stealing from us. Now, if I was talking to just, the poor whites, I'd be talking to y'all about Republicans stealing y'all stuff. Maybe at some point when we get bigger and bigger and bigger, we'll be more talking to everybody, But yeah, man, anytime a politician or a preacher is in your pocket, you need to slap their damn hands. That's all I got, man. That's it. I love you. I'll see you soon. And as always, where are my ladies? Where are my ladies? Oh, there they go, baby. There they go. There goes my wife.